Is it too early to start talking about Madden 22? Probably is. You know, EA is in the process of developing the game. We're going to be hearing news about it sometime in the near future. So I wanted to give my thoughts as to what EA needs to do to ensure the success of Madden 22 in the players' eyes. So here's my thought on how Madden 22 will fail without these 5 things. Now, every single one of these things could probably use their own video. And if you guys are interested in more videos in detail of me kind of fleshing out these ideas or perspectives, be sure to drop a comment down below and let me know. I'd be happy to do that. But starting off with number 1, we have gameplay. Now, we're going to be on next gen movement most likely for next game. And even if some of y'all don't have next gen consoles yet, that's going to be where kind of the meta of the game is. I believe most content creators, competitive gameplay, it's all going to be moving over to next gen movement, next gen stats tracker, all of that they were trying to really launch this year, but really was not a success because of just how broken and not used to it people were. But kind of by default, we're gonna have to move over to that at some point, and I think next year will pretty much be that year, which means people are going to have to really adjust to it. There are a few things that I think EA can do to adjust and tweak it to make it just a little bit easier of a learning curve and make people generally accept the next gen movement a lot more than they currently do now. The main thing here being the speed and acceleration. Now, the speed I think can be pretty accurate. It actually feels pretty good. The game obviously looks really good. No one can really argue with that. However, there's a problem with the acceleration where essentially they took before, when Tyreek Hill would run on current gen a 40-yard dash in like 2 seconds, which is obviously not realistic. They made him run his 40-yard dash in a more realistic time of, let's say, 4.3 seconds. But the way they did that is by making the top speed really fast, but the acceleration really slow. So you essentially feel like a cartoon character spinning your wheels when you're trying to accelerate and starting. And Madden School did a really good job breaking down why this feels so different. I'm going to link that article down in the description below. Their testing is where I'm getting kind of my analysis here. And I think if you want more information on what that really feels like, especially if you haven't played next gen movement yet, I'd really recommend you check it out, because I think they did a fantastic job breaking it down, analyzing it, and really summarizing it for an easily consumable way to learn about next gen movement. Because the problem is not really with the speed. I think it's really with the acceleration and how it really does feel like you're just kind of spinning in place when you're trying to run with whoever you're controlling. I think generally speaking, gameplay was pretty good in Madden 21, and I might get a lot of flack for saying that. Yes, it was a lot of bunch. Yes, it was a lot of man coverage on defense, but generally speaking, it's one of the better gameplays that we've had all throughout the history of Madden, at least that I can remember. The only issue with it was that they didn't do much tweaking throughout the year, which can be good and which can be bad. It can be good because you can get really good and really well versed in whatever scheme you want to run without changes, but also it drives a meta that becomes very, very stale. And so like they did an AP change from 10 to 12 earlier on in the year, and they're doing one right now from 12 to 15, changing AP balance points, trying to find a different balance in the game. And that's great for balancing, but it's also great for changing up the meta and changing up usable formations and schemes and ability schemes on your team throughout the game and throughout the year. And I think if they did this more often, maybe not around tournament time, right? Like, you don't want to mess with pros who are planning for tournaments, scheming for tournaments, and like the MCS and everything. But I think if in between these events, if you make these changes a little bit more often, it'll keep the game really fresh. It'll allow users to change up the abilities on their team, to change up the schemes that they're running, and that'll allow for a really healthy life cycle of Madden where you don't get into this just kind of rut where you're facing the same exact defense, 3-3-5 odd man defense, 3-3-5 Mike blitz, gun bunch tight end, PA boot over. Like, you're not facing the exact same thing all year, and I think that could be really healthy for the game. So these are just a couple changes going into next year, but like I said, guys, if you want more detailed breakdown of what my thoughts are for gameplay specifically or any of these other things, let me know by dropping a comment down below. I'd be happy to really flesh these ideas out. The next thing, and of course this comes with bias because I am a MUT guy, but MUT content. And there are a few angles that I'm going to take with this. I think I've broken this down into 3 things that I think can help deliver success from the EA Sports developers. And those 3 things are consistency, transparency, and worthwhile content. I think if they meet those 3 criteria, they will have a successful Ultimate Team year, and this is why. Consistency. People want new content in the game at least 4 to 5 days a week, during the beginning of the year, during the actual, NFL season of the year. When people are playing Madden the most, they want consistent content in the game, keep it fresh, keep new cards coming in, make sure that they can build the teams with the players that they like and that they enjoy, so that they know if they get one drop without the player that they want or they're looking to play with, they can still look forward to another drop where they have a good chance of getting that player in the near future. You have these big, massive gaps in between promos. It really dries out the game. Even if you're changing up gameplay, people, when it comes to Ultimate Team, it's very team builder focused. I've done streams where I've done gameplay for a while, and I've done streams where I just team build. I'm literally sitting on a menu, team building. People are helping me do that. And I think there's a reason why those team builder streams have much more interest, much more engagement, is because people play Ultimate Team to build the Ultimate Team. They want to build a team that they would never see in the NFL. They want to build a team that they would never be able to play with in regs. There's a reason why people love this mode, and that's really the core team building aspect of it. And I think they really need to crush that with consistent content. Also need to be very transparent with it. If big promos are coming, let us know. If cards are coming, let us know. If you have things in the works, let us know. If things aren't coming, let us know. You have Good Morning Madden, you have the Twitters, interact with us, talk to your content creators, use them, leverage them to communicate with the community. And as long as you let people know, the more transparent you can be, the more content and understanding the community will be. Yes, of course, you screw things up, people are going to get pissed whether you're transparent or not, but I assure EA it's going to be a lot worse, and the outrage will always be a lot worse if they are less transparent and they don't talk to the community that plays their game. Just going to make people more angry. So as long as you're vocal, communicate, you're transparent about what you're doing, what you have planned. When they started the year, they had those seasons that they were launching of like featuring what content was coming. Like they had a season 1 and season 2. This isn't series, this is seasons. And it showed what content was coming for that upcoming season. And I thought that was really cool because it showed us what promos were going to be featured. That was what previewed the 50 for us. We had never heard of that before. It allowed us to speculate and talk about it. It was really, really cool. I think if they stick with something like that, it could be really, really successful. And that kind of transparency is important and make the content worthwhile. We don't want 90 overall cards in January or like 85 overall cards in December. Like it doesn't matter. I mean, nobody gets excited about that at all. Nobody gets excited about an extremely low overall card that's like an offensive lineman the end of the year. It just doesn't matter. Listen to your community. Give us cards to get excited about. Give us wild stat cards. Give us like one random, 98 speed card in November that has like terrible route running, like terrible other stats, but it's crazy fast that we can use to have fun with. Those kinds of things really mix up the game, and it allows people to really kind of change the pace of play. And I think the more that you do that, the more fun we can have at different points throughout the year and prevent the game from going stale early on. Number 3 is franchise. I'm not a big franchise guy. I mean, there's a lot that I could talk about here. There's a lot of changes they implemented just in Madden 21, and I know they have a lot planned for Madden 22. So it seems like we're going to be getting these changes, but I mean, we all know, guys, just fix the dang mode. Add some more creativity to the mode, add some more changes to the mode, update the freaking mode from what it was 5 years ago. Like, they took so many things away, man, and they need to bring back so much about franchise. There's so much to flesh out here, but honestly, I think we could just all agree franchise needs some changes, franchise needs some tweaks, update the mode, and it seems like they want to do that, but it's definitely something that they're looking at, something that they're planning on updating. I just hope it doesn't flop. Number 4 is Superstar KO and the Yard. I'm lumping these together because these modes kind of go hand in hand to me. I feel like the Yard is the Superstar KO of this year, where when they launched Superstar KO, it was this big new thing. It was really cool. People loved it for like 2 days. And then the next game, they just totally kind of gave up on it, didn't update anything about it. In fact, it was broken for half the year. I feel like the Yard is going to be very much like that. The Yard is cool. Like, I have played it for maybe like 10 minutes. I played a couple games on it. It's cool. Like, it's a cool thing to have, but in order for it to really be a crucial feature of the game, it would need a ton more to be put into it. And I really just want them to drop the career mode that they have. I honestly can't even remember what it's called, the face of the franchise or whatever it is. Dude, it's so bad every single year. They can't get it right. They screw it up. There's always bugs. It's never a good story. It controls your fate for you. The draft was broken this year. Audio was broken this year. It takes so much time and so much money to create that mode, and they fuck it up every single year. And I want them to just drop that and focus on other things. Are they going to do this? Probably not. But I'm saying if you don't focus on Superstar KO and the Yard and update those modes, they're going to completely die. And I think you do that by taking the teams that focus on developing the story and whatever gameplay and animations and everything for your face of the franchise long shot mode and put them into Superstar KO and the Yard. Expand those modes out, give it some more creativity, give us some more fields and players and options and everything to do with those two modes. And I think you could have some really great features. And with that, implement some new broadcast features. I mean, we've had the same Charles Davis and Brandon Gaudin announcing for so long, the same speeches that we hear, the same things, same dialogue, everything. All these three things are kind of small things, so I'm lumping them together, but really update the broadcast aspect of the game in a sim game with the sim option that a lot of people enjoy from a sim game. We really need to update and get more immersed into the game, more than just next gen stats of like miles per hour that a player is running, because at the end of the day, like, it's a video game. I don't care if Derrick Henry ran 21 miles per hour. It's not impressive. I don't care about that, because in real life, it's cool. It's like, holy shit, Derrick Henry ran 21 miles an hour. But in a video game, it's like, well, it's a video game. I don't really care how fast he ran. I just care that he ran for a touchdown. So update the broadcast angle of the game. Give us more immersion into it. Give us a better Super Bowl halftime show. Give us a better Super Bowl show. Give us more playoff immersion. Give us press conferences. Give us all this stuff to make us feel like we are more immersed into a football scenario. Canceling out the face of the franchise mode and really diving into the broadcast and immersion of the game could really take Madden to a new level, could make it feel fresh, could make it feel new, could really give us the update that I think we're looking for. And last but certainly not least, the game needs to be playable on launch day. This game cannot launch in the state that Madden 21 did. Oh my God. Even in January, February, March, we're still playing what feels like a beta version of a full game. Now I get they have PC, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X. They have all these different versions they had to worry about this year launching the new game on next gen. It was a ton to juggle. And I think that's kind of understandable that they have the same size team to deal with all these different versions of the game. But next year, really try to focus on making the game playable, not crashable. Launch it in a game ready state, in a launch ready state. We should not be playing an alpha or a beta at launch. We should not be dealing with DC losses in weekend league constantly. We should not be dealing with game crashes, not being able to use the compare screen for Ultimate Team, the game just constantly crashing in the middle of the game, not being able to load into games. All these, I mean, there are just a million bugs that not only were in the game at launch, but a lot of them are still in the game that we still have to deal with today, which is just ludicrous to me. If people are going to pay $60, $100, $120 for the premium version of the game, they should not be buying a game that is completely broken, not only at launch, but throughout the year. The game at its very minimum needs to be bug free. And not even bug free. It needs to be in a state where the bugs are so little that you barely ever, even if at all, ever even notice them. So that is like the most important thing. Last, certainly, but not least there. The game needs to launch in a game ready state and not in an alpha or beta state. So that's going to wrap it up for this list, guys. If you feel like I missed anything, be sure to drop a comment down below, or let me know if you'd like any of these ideas or concepts fleshed out more. I might do a video about each one of them and kind of dive into greater detail about what I think can really improve Madden 22. I know it's early, but we're going to start hearing news about the game some point in the near future, I'm sure. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe for more Madden 21 and Madden 22 content. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, thanks for stopping by.